There are so many common misperceptions that people have of Indigenous peoples.
I want people to know that we're still here. It's important for Native people to be visible and that our voices and our stories be at the table. It's important that we tell our own stories, we share our own stories, and they come directly from us. Me personally, I'm tired of having our representation be through a non-Native lens. I want our people to share what we have to say.
There's a misnomer that Europeans came to the Americas and created a civilization. Actually, the opposite is true. We had sophisticated forms of governance. Our women held very high positions in our communities. And what that created was these really deep, rich family systems which protected women. We're not a racial category. We are citizens of sovereign nations. And that entitles us to a different political status than anyone else in this country. We have different laws that apply to us than any other groups do. That's very different than being a minority or any other kind of group in this country. Tribal governments actually constitute the third level of government. So you have federal, state, and you have tribal nations. Our educational system doesn't teach us that. And so as Native Americans, we actually have to walk around constantly educating everyone around us about our history, about our sovereignty, and about our current issues. We want to be understood.
Some of the primary issues that are affecting Indigenous peoples in the United States right now are the effects of historic and colonial trauma, problems from boarding school.
Indian boarding schools is such a dark period in America's history. From the 1850s to the mid-1900s, Native children were taken from their families and forced to go to Indian boarding schools. They had loss of identity. It was traumatic. These children are now our elders. They're still very hurt people. The challenges that we have in our community, they are so desperate, they are so deep. The issues that we face are things like drugs and alcoholism. It's not just one family. It could be half of the population in some tribes. There has been just a level of ignorance that has left our communities in ruin at times. Then it's perpetuating this family system of trauma being handed down from generation to generation.
There's a lot of teachings that are very different from what society in the United States is teaching our children in the school systems, and it conflicts. I know our children have a tough time going into the school system and being told they can't share their lunch with other kids. But we teach our children that if someone else needs something, you share what you have.
We really believe strongly that any kind of cross-movement platform needs to really include looking at the ways that Indigenous peoples are different than other groups in this country. We have a different history. We were sovereign nations before anybody came to this continent. We exist. We have something powerful to contribute to the world.
These women are resilient. They've worked so hard, and it's really up to us to help our women rise.
It's not just about the woman, or not just about the man. It's about the whole. It's about the collective. It's about the Tuahe, or the extended family, or the Tioshpaye. It's about the tribe. We really look to help everybody